Hello and welcome. My name is Lindsay Addington, and I am thrilled to be your host today for another edition of the Duolingo English Test webinar series. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about business schools in Texas. Before we get started, here are a few fun facts about Texas. As the second largest state in the US, bigger really does mean business. If Texas were its own country, it would have the eighth largest economy in the world, ahead of countries like Australia and South Korea. From energy to tech startups, business in Texas is truly Texas-sized. Deals and tacos are done over Tex-Mex. Networking events here might involve spreadsheets and spicy salsa. Tortilla chips and salsa are the official state snack of Texas. In Texas, good ideas and partnerships often start over good food. And lastly, innovation is part of the DNA. Texas is home to SpaceX, Dell, Southwest Airlines, and dozens of Fortune 500 companies, plus booming startup scenes in Austin, Dallas, and Houston. Whether you're into finance, tech, or entrepreneurship, it's a place where big ideas take off. We are thrilled to have 4 top business schools presenting with us today. Rice University in Houston, Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, and University of Texas in Austin. I'd love for the panelists to hop on now and introduce themselves. We'll start with you, Sophia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Cormack. I'm the Assistant Director of Recruiting and Admissions here at Rice University. I've been at Rice for 5 years, and I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Rice here in a little bit. I will hand it off to Shelley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shelley. I'm the Senior Assistant Dean of Graduate Admissions for our 13 graduate programs and then our Career Management Center. I'm really excited to share a little bit about all of our programs here in Texas and why you should come here for graduate school.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ariela Martinez, and I serve as the Associate Director of Recruiting and Admission for Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm excited to be here with y'all today.
And hi, everybody. My name is Rodrigo Malta. I'm the Assistant Dean over MBA Recruitment and Admissions at the University of Texas, McComb School of Business, and really excited to be here with my colleagues from all over Texas. And Lindsay, back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you all. It's a wonderful, diverse crowd that we have with us today. Thank you again for joining. A couple of quick housekeeping items. You will receive more information from these universities in the coming weeks, so be on the lookout. And we will do a Q&A at the very end of the presentation. So thank you for submitting questions upon registering. So let's get going. Briefly, a quick overview of the Duolingo English Test, or the DET. Why do students choose the DET to access university admission? The Duolingo English Test is accessible. It's online, on demand, anywhere, meaning you don't have to have appointments. You don't need to travel to test centers. You test in approximately 1 hour and you get results in 2 days. It's a quick process. So when you're ready to test your best, you can test with the Duolingo English Test. Again, no appointments necessary. If you're a morning person or a late night person, you can test at that time. And we're a fraction of the cost of traditional English tests. We are $70 US, and you can share results to any institution that accepts the DET for free. We are trusted globally by over 6,000 programs, many in the United States, but also we have acceptance at Canadian institutions, UK universities, Australian universities, Irish universities, and many English medium programs around the world. So with that, I will turn things over to Sophia at Rice.
All right. Hi, everyone. Sophia here again. And I'm going to do about a 10-minute overview of our full-time MBA program. Rice University is located in Houston, Texas. So if you want to go to the next slide, I'm going to talk about some of the Houston advantages and why you would want to choose Houston over any maybe other city in Texas. No, throwing out a little friendly competition here. But no, Houston is really great for career growth. We're one of the fastest growing cities in the US. We have a growing job market. We have a really diverse economy in the city. We have a really high concentration of large corporations. The city of Houston has invested a lot into our entrepreneurship environment, Rice included. And we are the energy capital of the US. And we also have a really heavy healthcare industry as well. Texas is very pro-business. It's very pro-business culture. And if you go to the next slide, a little bit about Houston. Oh, there we go. It's really affordable. It's probably one of the more affordable cities in the US. It's a foodie's paradise. We have over 10,000 restaurants that cover over 70 countries because we have so many large corporations. We're a really international city. We have 7 professional sports teams. We're a cultural hub with world-class museums and performance centers. There's so much green space. I think that's one thing that always surprises people about Texas is how green it actually is. We're centrally located with 2 major airports, and it's sunny year-round with mild winters. I think we just got our first cold day, which was about 65 degrees, so there's definitely a lot of sweaters around. But that's just kind of a very brief overview about Houston, and now to kind of dive into the Rice Business full-time MBA program specifically. It's a 2-year program and it's in person on campus. It is STEM designated. It has a traditional calendar of August to May. First week of August is usually the start of the program. It's 60 credits. You have a core curriculum, which includes your global field experience. The global field experience is an international consulting project that all of our students must participate in. So the second semester of your first year, you'll be partnered with an international company where you'll get to consult with them. And then at the end of the semester for a week, you'll travel to the country. It's really great way to reflect on everything you learned in your first year and how it applies to any business in any country. We also have over 100 electives offered, including 15 experiential learning labs, which is hands-on learning, and 10 specializations available. Do the next slide. Yeah, so this is just a snapshot of what a 2-year program here at Rice would look like. So year 1, you're doing all of your core curriculum, which is that fundamental business 101, including 4 electives. Between the summer of your first year and second year, you'll go on your global field experience and you'll do your summer internship. And then in year 2, you'll wrap up your MBA by getting to fill in all the electives, again, covering over our 10 areas of study. We also have a ton of clubs and organizations that you can participate in while you're here. This is a snapshot of our class profile. So if you don't see your statistics reflected here, that doesn't mean they don't exist in our class. This is a 3-year average. So it's 5 years of work experience, a 625 GMAT focus if you're taking the new GMAT, that's the old GMAT format, and then a 3.4 GPA. So why is Rice Business the place that would be a good fit for you? Our curriculum, we have world-class faculty who know you by name. We have a 6-to-1 ratio of student to faculty. We have so many experiential learning classes, so many students partnering with companies to apply what they've learned during the curriculum outside of their internship. The global field experience really sets our program apart, and you have a really customizable program. In the next slide, you'll see just a sample of our electives. So we have a lot of AI classes, especially I know that's one of the questions we'll talk about later, but we do offer AI electives, a lot of energy electives, a lot of entrepreneurship electives. We have been ranked #1 in entrepreneurship for the last 6 years by the Princeton Review. So that has really heavily influenced our curriculum. If we can go to the next slide. This is kind of what we have in our entrepreneurship ecosystem. We have a ton of courses, also the Lily Lab, which is a startup launchpad for our students who have startup ideas. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean you have an idea. It just means you're interested in working at a startup. Maybe you want to learn the fundamentals of how to finance your venture, things like that. And we have all of that here at Rice. A lot of student-led initiatives as well, such as our Enterprise Through Acquisitions conference, our Veterans Business Battle, our Rice Business Plan competition, which is the richest and the largest in the world. And these are all startup competitions that we host on campus. Go on to the next slide. So we offer personalized career growth. And just because historically, we have never had an undergraduate program. So all of our resources at the business school are actually dedicated to our MBA students. The undergrads have their own resources. So everything career-wise is fully dedicated to the MBA. So when we bring a company on campus, they're only looking at our MBAs. In the next slide, you'll see some of our top hiring companies and our top 4 industries. Our top 4 industries are investment banking, consulting, tech, and energy. And then these are some of our top employers as well. And we'll go to the next slide. So we are a small university. Our class size is about 160 students in a full-time program. So we do have we just graduated our 10,000th alumni for the business school, but we spanned over 59 countries and about 1,200 of our alumni do sit at C-suite levels. Also part of the community in the next slide. We can talk about all of the MBA focus clubs that we have. As you can see, there's a lot. So there's a ton of different ways for you to get involved on campus, from everything from beer club to the women's organization, to the arts club, to the clean tech association. So you name it, we have it. We're a really student-driven organization. So these were all clubs that our students wanted to have and to host. All right, in the next slide, I'm going to go over the application briefly and give just some pointers on it. We do have a lot of application overviews over the next couple of weeks, so you can just go to our website and sign up for one of those where we'll really get into the depth of the application. Rodrigo, I agree. The Rice Paws Club is one of my favorite clubs because they meet once a week and they bring all of their pets on campus, and it's so much fun. There's always dogs around. It's a great organization, even if you don't have pets.
You should live stream it.
That's not a bad idea. I'm going to get in touch with marketing about that. But our application is pretty straightforward. It's an online application you can find on our website. For your application, you will need your transcripts. So your undergraduate transcripts, if you went to school outside of the US, we just need to make sure your transcripts are in English and that you upload your diploma. We do require a standardized test, GMAT or GRE, and then you can also apply for a waiver. Those are on a case-by-case basis. Your resume should be a snapshot of who you are right now and what you've done professionally. So make sure to include all of your jobs and what you're currently doing, not just your job description. You really want to quantify this. Your letters of recommendation, we use the GMAC common letter of recommendation, and I think most schools do. So it's just a link that your recommender gets. And insider tip is always make sure that they save, if they fill it out once, just to save it so they can fill it out several times. And then we have 3 essays on our application. One is your short-term goals, and the other one is your long-term goals. These are not, we're not going to hold you to these goals. We just want to make sure that your goals align with the MBA. So when you're writing your short-term goals, is making sure that just think about a year post-grad, where do you want to be? I always tell students, if you're looking to become a professional dancer, the MBA may not be the right space for you, and we can talk about that. And then our third essay is our creative essay, where we're asking you to share a photo with us and tell us about the photo. This is a really great way to snapshot your personality outside of work, outside of academics, because we get such an insight into that we want to get to know you personally. What drives you? What motivates you? What inspires you? Who are you outside of kind of work and school? And that's our creative essays are a really great snapshot to really get to know our applicants. Once you hit submit, we do have 2 rounds of interview, one being a virtual interview where you just record yourself answering some behavioral questions, and then a one-on-one interview with a current student, and that's by invitation only. And I think that was the last, this is my last slide before I hand it over to Shelley. But our next, we finished our round 1, so our next deadline will actually be January 16th, 2026. So you still have a lot of time to apply round 2. If any of this is interesting to you, I'm also happy to connect one-on-one and kind of talk about why Rice Business might be a good spot for you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And you did mention standardized testing. Do you require English language proficiency testing as well?
We do not require it, but we always like to see it. So if you're taking it or you're scheduled to take it or you feel it'll strengthen your application, we always encourage our students to upload it, but it's not going to hold you back from submitting your application. But if you're doing well on tests, definitely show the admissions committee.
Wonderful. Thanks for clarifying.
No
All right,
problem.
Shelley, you are up.
All right. Hi, everyone. And just to echo, yes, friendly competition among all of us. Ultimately, we just want you to come to Texas. So choose the best program among us that fits you, and we will all be happy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the SMU Cox School of Business in Dallas, Texas. This is our brand new building, $140 million building, completely funded by alum. And I feel lucky every time I walk into the building. It's beautiful. So I'll kick it off. Talked a little bit about Houston. Now, if you go 5 hours north, 4.5 hours north, you'll hit Dallas. It's interesting. You can travel 5, 6, 12 hours in Texas and still be in Texas. So Dallas is at kind of the top of Texas. We've seen huge growth here. So interestingly, they're projecting that DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, could surpass Chicago by the end of the decade as the third largest metro in the US. Lindsay mentioned this about, Texas would rank 8th as economic output in the world. We have a lot of tech jobs here in Texas, and the growth is the #1 US metro with year-over-year growth. It's absolutely reflected in the traffic, but also the people and all of the amenities that are here. I think the most interesting thing is the 100 corporate headquarters have relocated here since 2020. So just a really booming economic engine. And after New York, the #2 in financial jobs in the US. Here, a lot of second corporate headquarters from the major banks are either in construction or have recently been constructed here. Dallas, though, is not just an economic engine. We have trails, urban nature, the Texas State Fair, the Dallas Cowboys, which depending on the decade are doing great or not. Lots of, professional sports teams. And it's very internationally diverse. I think Texas sometimes gets a misconception that it's not internationally diverse, and it is. Even in DFW alone, lots of languages spoken. About 1/5 of the population are international citizens. So a great place to be. All right. So lots of reasons on why SMU Cox. I think interestingly, when you choose a professional business school, this city is really important. We are all here in great metro cities. And so you want to be in an area where you can access alumni for quick coffee chats, for lunch, for networking, where alumni are going to be coming to campus easily, and where you're not having to necessarily book flights to go places. And so just in DFW alone, we have 60,000 alum, and then spread around the world. We obviously have alum as well. Our classes, you learn from professors as well as C-level executives. And we are a small class size, so you get one-on-one career support, which I think is reflected in our employment outcomes, but also on the academic side, you'll get support and from faculty. And we definitely have a collaborative cohort model as well, so you'll get to know everyone. So experiential learning is top of mind at any top business school. So we have, I think, some of these unsung opportunities that are part of the experience. So we have a business leadership center which hosts probably 2 to 3 different speakers every week that come and do both hands-on as well as just kind of speaking and inspirational talk. So anytime we have someone who wants to speak and share, they go through the BLC. And if you're an MBA student, you have access to this thanks to a generous gift from an alum. Our students participate in the Disney Leadership Institute. So for a week over winter break, if you can imagine, they go to Disney World and they go behind the scenes to learn how Disney thinks about customer service and branding and marketing. It's really exciting. You also get to go to the parks one day, so kind of a bonus, and you stay on property. So there's our students there. They go every year. We have a Cox Mentorship Academy. Mentorship is really key and important. So we have a strong mentor program for all of our MBA students where you get paired with a more experienced level mentor. And we have curated events throughout the year where you get to take advantage of that. If you want to consult, you're thinking about that as a career, why not try your skills in kind of nonprofit consulting to help out a nonprofit that can't afford a major consulting firm but still needs expertise from business school students. We have 17 centers and institutes. So if you're interested in like entrepreneurship or real estate or energy, these are ways to get involved outside of the classroom. And then certainly I encourage all of you, no matter what school you go to participate in business plan competitions. It's a way to really hone your skills in a short time frame. Awesome. Next slide. Great. Student-led organizations, this is a big part of your experience. So most people choose kind of one or two, at least a professional club that will connect you with kind of employers or alum. And then students usually choose either kind of a social club or an affiliation club, as more of community building. So if you didn't get a chance to get involved in those in undergrad, definitely MBA is a great chance to do that. Next slide. Perfect. All of our students do participate in a global leadership program. So for example, I'm going to Dubai with some students in December. I'm going to Buenos Aires in May. And so you do get to consult for a company. You're solving a real world problem. So it's not just kind of a tourist vacation. It is something that you can put on your resume to show that you've had real world international experience beyond the international experience that many of you are already bringing. So you can think of it, even another country that you want to maybe gain experience in. So we do these consulting trips, industry trips, also exchange programs as well. In terms of our class profile, you'll see we have very internationally diverse students. So we have a small kind of a small size program. We have 21 months, just like I think all of our traditional programs. We are STEM certified. So as a 2-year program, it's a great way to pivot if you're looking to pivot because of that internship you'll do between year 1 and year 2. And then, we have different dual degree options that we can always talk about later to customize your program. Next slide. Awesome. This is a little snapshot. You can take a little screenshot of our curriculum. You'll see, your core courses are really heavy in the first year. The second year, you get chances for electives. We have an interesting unbridled venture project where you get to really kind of create and get innovative, thinking about, the sky is the limit. How would you experiential create a project that's really exciting, and then you go on your GLP course, the Global Leadership Program, in spring B, the mod B of your first year, and then electives in your second year. That's where you really customize what you're looking to do. Next slide. I can talk a little bit while we're advancing to the next slide. I'll talk a little bit about our concentrations. So for your 1 year, for the 1-year MBA program, you can choose a concentration. For your 2-year MBA program, you can choose 1 or 2 concentrations and 1 minor. Areas of study that we have, very similar to other schools: accounting, business analytics, corporate investment, energy, finance, general business, management, marketing, real estate, strategy and entrepreneurship, supply chain. So really, you can take that first year to kind of explore and then decide what you really want to focus on. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to finish off with a little bit about career support. So I'm sure most of you, 1/3 of your experience is academics, 1/3 is outside of the classroom, and 1/3 is career support. This is an example of one of the many different events that we host. We have career fairs on our campus just for our Cox students. So what does your roadmap to career success look like? So you actually start in the summer before you even begin your program. You'll start chatting with our career consultants. All of them come from industry background. There's different career tracks, networking almost every week. There's probably 3 to 4 employers on campus. I'm thinking about even just this week, there's 3 to 4 employers on campus every week. We have a mandatory managing your career course. So versus trying to fit time to learn how to manage your career, it's a 1-hour credit course where you'll learn all of these things. I sat in it when I first got to SMU. I sat in it thinking, am I going to learn something? And I was actually wowed at some of the things even I learned from, how to make yourself most marketable, network, how to use AI in your career search, how to rep and practice, especially if you're going to banking and consulting. So it's a really popular course with our students. And all of our students have to do it. In terms of landing the job, you work with your career consultant individually. They set out a roadmap for you based on the industry that you're looking to go into. In terms of our stats, we were really excited in 2024. After 4 months, 91% of our students accepted jobs after 4 months of graduation, and within 6 months, 95% accepted jobs. Where do our students go? I mean, it's pretty typical where a lot of MBA programs go, consulting and finance and tech and all over, though. There's really a lot of different diversity for you to think about both your function and your industry. Next slide is just a quick snapshot of where some of our students have gone recently. And then I'll end with a little bit about our admissions process. So we are test optional for GMAT, GRE, or EA. I think if you test well, we have students that are submitting really strong test scores. So that may be something that showcases your academic ability. Other times people have transcripts from undergrad that showcase their academic ability. So you can kind of work with one of our admissions team members to figure out what is the best strategy for you in admissions. We do take TOEFL, IELTS, and also Duolingo for international students. It's optional based on kind of some of your circumstances. Resume, 2 professional references, and then essays to talk about your goals, professional accomplishments, and we do look for 2 years minimum work experience. And we do in interviews by invitation. We actually do 2 interviews, one from the admission side and one from the career side. All right. And then rounding out, this is a little bit of our class profile. We'll go to the next slide. Everyone is eligible for academic scholarship, merit-based scholarship. So everyone that applies is automatically considered. We do have strong scholarships available. I think our average scholarship is about $65,000 a student. And you're also eligible for Forte fellowships or Ramba fellowships. We have federal financial aid obviously available. All of our schools do. And then, if you're thinking even about a part-time program, some of you on the call, employer sponsorship is something we can help you to petition for. Next deadline is January 6th and then March 3rd. And that's all I have. Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Shelley. Great overview. And we will move on to TCU and Neeley with Ariella.
Hi, y'all. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are joining us from the world today. I'm very excited to speak with you about TCU Neeley School of Business and our program. I want to start with kind of just background. So I am Ariella Martinez. I am Associate Director of Admission, and we have a suite of different programs. Today I'll focus obviously on the full-time MBA, but I do invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I share that very genuinely because I like to share about what our students are doing, both in the classroom, out of the classroom, experiential learning opportunities. I think that's a great way to see it kind of just as it's happening, and we're able to share and post there, and you can engage with us. A bit about how we'll order through this. We'll look through Fort Worth at a glance, then TCU as an institution at a glance, and the Neeley difference, our program overview, and then go into admission, scholarship, and contact. Starting with Fort Worth, we are the number 10 largest city in the U.S. We are the fastest growing, though, if you see over there on the far right, number 1 fastest growing. This kind of alludes to a lot that has been mentioned about Fortune 500 companies growing so quickly in the area, and then also just the population and opportunity. Fort Worth has been identified specifically as the top 25 city for young professionals as well, too. So this mix of just economic movement and opportunity in Fort Worth calls for very exciting opportunities for our students, again, both in and out of the classroom. Looking at TCU specifically as an institution, we're considered mid-size, and a lot of people are typically pretty surprised by that. And I think this comes from the school spirit and the football, athletic spirit that happens that makes it feel so much bigger. But it is mid-size. We have just about 2,000 graduate students as a whole across the institution, various countries represented, and over 100,000 passionate alumni that are serving as incredible Horned Frogs and ambassadors across the nation and world, I guess, also. Next, we'll talk about the Neeley difference. And so part of that is really your graduate area studies as opportunities. So within the graduate area studies, there are various options you can see year. And this does not even necessarily highlight the concentrations or emphasis you can get, but you see various different places that you can kind of focus your studies in, and also receive certificate in analytics, energy, or entrepreneurship and innovation. And the nice thing is, I always tell students, it's great to chat with current students about kind of how they might couple things or use them to be both at the intersection of what they're desiring or what their strengths already are, and exploring something new. A lot of those conversations and network is built over connections through student organizations as well, too. And so with our student organizations, they really hit various different areas of similar pockets that have been shared, whether they might be social or more so affiliation based. And then those really vary. Lindsay, if you can hit the next slide. Across different opportunities for you too. So you can see Graduate Women in Business, Data Analytics Club. I serve as the faculty advisor or staff advisor for Latin Graduate Leadership Network. And within all of these, we'd have speakers come out, of course, engagement across both peers and alum. But even more so, there's those connections to see kind of where did the Neeley both curriculum and experiences come together to provide for an experience or opportunity that really leveraged or excelled students' opportunity in their professional life. Next, while I'm going to focus on one degree, I think it's just helpful to know about making an informed decision for which program is best for you. Requires you to really know like what options there are. So one thing I just wanted to hit is our full-time programs that we have at TCU. There are 3. Of course, we have the full-time MBA, the Master of Science in Business Analytics, and the Master of Science in Business, which is new coming fall 2026. All of these are great opportunities for your full-time students who are also visa seeking, of course, and you would attend class Monday through Thursday during the day, and of course not be employed full-time. To focus on the full-time MBA, though, our full-time MBA is a 21-month program for 4 semesters, and you would do a summer internship between those 2 years. It's a fall start, like I shared, STEM designated. And the average experience is 3 to 5 years. And this is students coming from various different industries or functions in their previous experiences. And that comes together for typically year over year, an average age of 28 and an average cohort size of 40 students. So compared, we definitely seem to be the smallest program, but like I said, it's more so that mid-size opportunity to where every student truly gets to know their peer. You're in class with every single one of your peers. You're at these various opportunities. And so that very much high touch and high engagement with your peers, your faculty, your staff is something that students truly say, like, this is very much the Neeley touch on things, to be able to have that high touch and authentic connection with your peers and faculty. The full-time MBA, of course, as I shared, so it's 2 years. You can see where you kind of break down into between semester 1 and 2 opportunities for experiential learning through Neeley and Associates. Your curriculum will focus on core courses, and you'll get to obviously network and practice those new skills that you're learning. As you advance, you see summer internship will take place in that first summer. And then various different opportunities that our students have done these internships are listed above that. So from Alcon to Frito-Lay to Verizon, and similar to as our peers have shared, this may be something where you are deepening your experience within a field that you're already interested in or have some background in. And for others, it might be pivoting entirely. Either way, it's an exciting opportunity for students to get to take that summer to really go through a very thorough and well-developed internship experience. In year 2, of course, you'll have your career opportunities, focus a little bit more on electives there, and also study abroad. So some type of global or international experience as part of the program and supported through Neeley, of course. Taking a look at recent employers and kind of just your career data with us, you can see our average compensation was $155,000 with the exciting full-time placement of 96%. Recent employers are shared, again, all across different types of industries. Again, this alludes to being in Fort Worth as the #1 fastest growing city, but also the top 3 largest metroplex in the nation within the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So exciting times for sure. And one more piece on experiential learning is that I've mentioned Neeley and Associates already. This is our consulting opportunity where students can serve in their first year as a consultant on a team with other peers consulting for various companies, and these are typically our large companies. It might be DFW Airports, BNSF Railways, Alcon Surgical, Alcon Pharma, and all of these, again, like I share, we share a lot on LinkedIn for you to be able to see kind of really more so what's going on and engage with those companies as well too. Outside of Neeley and Associates, now I will share, Neeley and Associates is the most popular that I've seen because it can be a 2-year experience for you. So year 1, you can do your consulting experience. In year 2, you could apply to be a principal in the program where you would lead the next cohort essentially in conducting their consulting experience with Neeley and Associates. You also have Horn Frog Investment Network, Educational Investment Network, so some opportunities more so in that area. C-level confidentials are exciting opportunities to have, again, that high touch opportunity to where we have anywhere from 15, maybe max 20 students get to come together for an evening to spend time with a C-level alum across the city and what they're doing. So you come together and have different settings where you might have your private like cocktail hour, a dinner hour, and then also just kind of a Q&A and getting to know the C-level and kind of their journey, how their MBA curriculum both contributed to it, but also how they get to see that evolve in the shaping landscape. And then case competitions, of course, executive coaching and the study abroad. We'll move on to admission and scholarship next. So for the admission process, we do require your resume, transcripts, we'll have 2 short essays, and then contact info for 3 recommenders. When you provide their contact information, we will send them a short form to complete. That way it can get sent right back to us. And then we do require a GMAT or GRE score, along with English proficiency. Now, there are some waivers or exemptions for English proficiency, but as far as scores, Duolingo is obviously a great option to go with for the speed and efficiency for you as a consumer of someone looking to get that score quickly and be able to apply that and move on forward with your admission process. And then we'd require an admission interview to move forward in the process. Now, this would be, you would be invited to interview and then select that. And of course, we support that via Zoom if needed as well too. For admission deadlines, we have various ones. So you see round 1 through 4, with round 4 really being more so space available basis. Now, if you're visa seeking, round 3 is going to be your final deadline on May 1. But our first one is coming up just in a couple of days on November 1st. And then round 2 is March 1st. Now for scholarships, the exciting piece is that awards include up to full tuition or full tuition fees, but also full tuition fees and stipend. All applicants in each application round are automatically considered for scholarship. So there's nothing extra you need to do, no separate application, no specific type of process to hope to not miss. Everyone will be automatically considered, and then we practice a holistic review in our scholarship review. Thank you for your time today, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Rodrigo.
All right. Thanks, Ariela. I appreciate it. And welcome, everybody. My name is Rodrigo Malta. I am the Assistant Dean over MBA Recruitment and Admissions here at Texas McCombs. Just a little bit about me, if you want to advance to the next slide. I'm originally from Brazil. I know there are a lot of international applicants on the call, so hello, really excited you're here. I got my MBA from the University of Texas at Austin back in 2007, so it's been a little while. I've been working in MBA admissions for about 15 years and really excited to share a little bit of information about Texas McCombs, but also really exciting to hear the stories and information about our colleagues from Texas, and it got me really excited to actually check out their schools. So in the previous slide, Lindsay, if you can go back really quick, I'm just similar to Ariela. I wanted to invite you all to connect with me on LinkedIn. I view this really as the start of a conversation where we're going to be sharing information about our great schools with you all. But then as you navigate the application process, school exploration, engage with us, engage with our teams, so we can share the why Texas, the state, and hopefully, as Shelley mentioned, we can see you here in our state in the future. You can go to the next slide. So for our time together, it's only about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna share a little bit about the what, the who, and the where of Texas McCombs. And then we're gonna pass it over to Lindsay for a little bit of Q&A. So let's start with the what. So everything at Texas McCombs starts with our top-ranked education. We're the flagship university for the state of Texas. We're large public research institutions. So we're in the business of creating knowledge, not merely disseminating it. So you're going to see a lot of innovation in the classroom. And I think what's interesting about our education experience is that our faculty members do an amazing job translating that research into real applicable business knowledge that you can take to work via micro consulting projects, via an internship, and then as you graduate as well. So the education is based on a very customized curriculum. So over 70% of our coursework is self-selected with over 100 electives. You can really tailor your degree with over 20 MBA concentrations, 14 of which are STEM certified. Because we do attract individuals from a variety of academic and professional background, you do have a core set of classes that you take before you venture into the roadmap concentrations and the electives. But we also like to take you outside of the classroom and have you put to practice what you're learning in the classroom. So you do that through the McCombs Plus micro consulting project. So you can do the micro consulting projects at any point in your 4 semesters at the University of Texas at Austin. These are 8 to 10 week consulting projects with Fortune 50 companies or small startups in the Austin environment. We have a ton of global study abroad opportunities from our Global Connection study tours, which happen over spring break, to short-term study abroad, which happens at the end of each semester. And then also full-on semester exchange programs abroad where you can study for a quarter of your program somewhere else in the world. We have a variety of fellows programs that tend to be very industry or function specific. A great example of that is the Venture Fellows program, which puts you into a venture capital firm here in the Austin area. And you can be a part of and lead several of our student organizations. But beyond the curriculum and experiential learning opportunities, you're going to have a ton of individual support as you journey through our MBA program. So we have academic advisors, we have career advisors, we have executive coaches that are going to be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are making the right choice when picking classes, when pursuing different employment opportunities, and remind you why you're here and why we're so excited that you're here with us pursuing your MBA program. We can go to the next slide. So this is a snapshot of our curriculum. As I mentioned, 70% of our coursework is self-selected with a variety of concentrations you can pursue. And here in the picture, you see our core classes in that light gray. You have an opportunity to start to customize the program with some of the custom core classes that are around some of the major business functions, so marketing, finance, etc. And even in your second semester, you can see that the majority of the coursework is really self-selected. Strategy is the only one of our core classes, which is purely case-based. It kind of is the culmination of what you basically learn in that core first semester here at Texas McCombs. Year 2, all electives, and we actually encourage our students to take classes outside the business school. Part of being at a large public research institution is you can take classes at the School of Architecture, the School of Law, at the School of Public Policy. So you're going to be kind of in our classroom, but also experiencing what it's like to be in a big university campus here in the US. We can go to the next slide. So I'm switching out a little bit of to the who. So who you go to school with is really important, and our team goes all over the globe to find some of the best talent to bring into the classroom. So in any given year, our class size is about 230 to 250 students. They come again from a variety of backgrounds and countries. And I think one of the things that we're very proud of is our culture, which is very welcoming and collaborative. And we find that our students really make it a home. So Rolling Hall is a brand new building, and you'll see if you visit campus a very tight-knit community where students really enjoy each other's companies. So we can go to the next slide. Here at the University of Texas at Austin, we're very big into sports. We're a big athletics institution with a very recognizable brand. And we say that learning is a team sport. So in a class of 230, 250 students, we divide you into 4 cohorts. Within those cohorts, you're going to be assigned a study group. And those core classes that I talked about earlier, you're going to be taking those core classes with your cohort and doing all the group projects with your study group. And both your cohort and study groups are handpicked, and we're really making it the groups as diverse as possible. So you're learning from each other and kind of being exposed to different points of view. Our faculty are fantastic. I think they are great researchers against creating cutting edge knowledge, but great teachers, accessible, and really experts in their field. So you're going to be supported in the classroom, and actually a lot of our classes are fun just to take. So you can go to the next slide. And moving into a little bit of the where. So we are located in Austin, Texas. We're one of the fastest growing cities in the US. We're about 3 hours south of Dallas, about 2.5 hours west of Houston. We are the state capital, so there's a strong government base here, but we're also known as a very strong tech hub. So one of the exciting things about our MBA program is the accessibility that you have with the city of Austin. So if you think about downtown Austin being First Street, the University of Texas at Austin is around 20th Street. And you are right there where all the action is. So when I talk about experiential learning opportunities, the accessibility piece that our students have with the city of Austin is really, really unique. Austin is not a super large city, so it's not as large as New York, Chicago, or even DFW or Houston, but it's it's a medium-sized city with a lot of business opportunity and highly accessible. Lots of companies and a thriving startup scene. And I'm very biased because I've lived here for over 20 years, but it's a great place to live. So you have a ton of outdoor activities, live music, great events. We just had our Formula One race about 2 weeks ago. In the spring, we have a great festival called South by Southwest, which is around music, film, and technology. Great food, and really great people because we attract people from all over the country and the world. Everybody's looking to make a friend. So people are very friendly. And overall, the people in the state of Texas are really friendly. So if you go to Fort Worth, Dallas, and Houston, you're going to experience the friendliness of Texas as well. So what do you get whenever you bring in great educational experience, great people in a great place? You get a really solid brand reputation and amazing results. So we have a very well recognizable brand. It's a highly ranked MBA program, and it is kind of a brand that you're going to want to be associated with for the rest of your life. We can go to the next slide. The results also reflect themselves in really amazing career outcomes. So our average annual salary was about $150,000 with signing bonus of $30,000. So total compensation package as our students graduate close to $180,000. As you can see here, consulting is our #1 placement industry, followed by tech, and then finance, but lots of opportunities in a lot of different industries and functional areas as well. I often say that an MBA program at any of our great schools, so Rice, SMU, or TCU, will open doors that you probably never knew existed. And I think each of our programs have the infrastructure and the support to give you the confidence to walk through that door and put yourself out there in a way that you're going to have a chance to get that dream job after you graduate. So we can go to the next slide. Just to share a little bit about the admissions process here at Texas McCombs. We just had an application deadline earlier this month. Our next one is January 15th. Last one, April 1st. All of our rounds are open to all of our students, including international students. But if you're an international student that's visa seeking, I would probably encourage you to apply in round one in the future or round two, just to give yourself a little bit more time to go through the immigration process, get things ready to start school in Texas or in the US. So we can go to the next slide. And this is really my last slide, I believe, which is an overview of all of our application components. I think something that we're really proud of here at Texas McCombs is that all applicants are invited to complete all of the application components. So we don't have a triage process where we only invite a certain number of students or applicants to complete the video assessment or the interview. Everybody can complete all of our application components. So around academics, your undergrad, grad transcripts, we accept the GMAT, GRE, or EA. We also have a waiver petition that you can submit before the application if you don't want to take the standardized test. On the English proficiency side of the house, we accept the TOEFL or IELTS. We don't accept the Duolingo test yet. So we keep working on it, but it is a great option to a lot of our international applicants. At Texas McCombs, if you are from or went to school or worked for more than 2 years in a country where English is one of the official languages, you do not have to submit the English proficiency test. On the work experience side of the house, resume, letter, recommendation, we would like you to have at least 2 years post-undergrad professional experience before you apply. And then where the magic really happens is you and McCombs, you tell us your story through the 2 essay prompts, share your short and long-term goals. We do have a video assessment that you complete after you hit the submit button on that application. And then after the round deadline, each of the round deadlines, we're gonna release an interview calendar where you can schedule your interview with a second-year student. So again, you can complete all of the application components, and we highly encourage you to do so as well. I think that's it. So thank you again. It's a real privilege to be able to share a little bit of information about the University of Texas at Austin and be in the presence of such great colleagues. So thank you for letting me join you, Shelley, Sophia, and Ariella, and Lindsay. Back to you.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful overview. Friendly competition for sure, but the message was clear. Choose Texas. So many great options. Diverse communities on your campuses, but also program differentiators among each of your institutions, which I think give people a lot of option within Texas. One question left in my mind, though, Ariella and Rodrigo, horned frogs versus longhorns. Who's going to win?
I think we'll let them decide it on the field.
Yeah, we'll leave it with the field.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all. We have a few minutes remaining in the hour with our guest this morning, and so I'm going to ask probably just 2 questions. You all provided a great overview of the application requirements, the process, the deadlines, scholarship options. Our attendees today want to know, though, what are the most common application mistakes that they should avoid? I'll let you each provide maybe one that you see that you'd love to advise students around. We'll go reverse. Rodrigo, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things that makes all of the admissions committee members really eye roll is whenever we're in admissions committee and we pull out an essay that has the wrong school. Y'all, that still happens in the world of ChatGPT. Control F, where you can find the number, number school. Do not submit an essay with the wrong school because it is major eye roll emoji.
Thank you. Ariella?
But I will, instead of harping on that one again, but it is very common. I think it's most common. I would share essentially not addressing the questions that are being asked in your prompts for your personal statements or your essays. Instead of having some blanket response that you're going to send to every school, ensure that you truly address what that school is looking for because it's tailored to what calls out and stands out to that school and likely aligns with their own cohort experience. And so you want to be sure to take that time to ensure that it's a robust and very fair application rather than, I always explain it as rather than later wishing that you had addressed a certain piece of the question.
Great, thank you. Shelley?
I'll give two quick ones. One, 8 to 10 page CVs. Most of us only want 1 to 2 page resumes, and we won't look at page 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So please keep it to 1 or 2 pages. And then second, I think we're getting pretty savvy at noticing when ChatGPT wrote your essays. So there's like kind of these key words that ChatGPT likes to use or any of the LLMs, or like the M dash, like we're almost like looking for it. Like, did they write this or did AI write this? And so write it in your own words. Not to say you can't use AI for help, but like we're kind of looking for that. So.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Sophia.
Wow, these are all really great tips. And hard agree on the don't put the wrong school. I've read a lot of I want to go to UT essays, and I'm like, great, I'm sure you'll be a great fit. I think the one thing that I always tell candidates is don't try to fit a model of what you think the school is looking for. I think that's where you're going to be inauthentic in your application. And at the end of the day, you want to be yourself through the application process and you're going to find the right school for yourself. So going a little more existential, but just be really true to yourself and don't try to fit yourself into a box.
Wonderful. So to summarize, get the correct university name, tailor your essays based on the prompts that are provided per university, provide short CVs or resumes, 1 to 2 pages, and be genuine. And oftentimes, if it's written by AI, that is not going to present your best self. Speaking of AI and ChatGPT, the last question for you all is how do your programs, and some of you mentioned this, incorporate AI into the teaching and learning process? And how do you prepare students for this new age of AI and the work that they're going to be doing post completion of your programs? And we'll start in the middle. Shelley, I'll direct that at you first.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just launched a Master of Science in AI for Business. Applications are going kind of gangbusters there. I think people know that they need to know how to understand it or they need to know how to manage people. We had a senior exec recently talking with us who said she manages 200 digital interns. So like she's an SVP. She manages 200 people. They all have names or robots and they all have names. And so that's going to be the world. Like, how do you manage them? So that is definitely a part of our curriculum. We're building out a degree program. It's being integrated then in the rest of the classes, and then hosting outside of class experiences on it as well.
Great, thanks. Sophia, how about to you?
Yeah, I think AI is forefront of everyone's mind, and we've incorporated it into our electives. We offer, I don't know off the top of my head how many AI electives, but there's a good handful of them. We also make sure students have access to Gemini through their student account. So we are giving them access to AI different platforms. I'm not AI savvy at all. I am the first to admit that, but it's definitely incorporated into our curriculum and more, it's just gonna take over. So it's definitely something we're adapting to.
Thanks for sharing. Ariella?
Of course, in the academic piece of it and in your courses, you're going to get some leverage of that and just conversations, because that it is the thing. It's the trends. It's what's shaping and evolving the landscape in business decision making. But a piece of that, I always think of like you want what's at that intersection of industry and academy, not just, what does the book say and how you can learn by that, but also what is truly happening in the industry. So I really like the example that Shelley just gave of being able to see that happening real time. And a piece of it too is just even being able to, it reminds me of, I remember sitting through a session myself, even as faculty staff, we truly leverage utilizing AI, but doing so in a space that is, of course, ethical, teaches you how to do it critically. And then with that, of course, a big piece of it is prompt engineering. So we got to sit through and learn how do you prompt engineer to leverage it in a way that is true and authentic to what you're looking for, but utilizes the resources and tools of today's world.
Great, thank you. And close us out, Rodrigo. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think the educational experience based on the curriculum, we have some custom core classes around AI in business and society is a new class that we have. AI and strategies for digital transformation is another one, and also several electives that you can kind of take. But I think the topics that are covered in different ways in the different classes is what's really interesting. So creating value with AI, evaluating AI business solutions as you go into the workplace, mitigating AI-related risks, and addressing some of those ethical and maybe societal challenges that AI arise, and how human and AI collaboration are really going to drive a lot of decision making in business. So it's kind of infused not only in AI-related courses, but I think in all of our institutions, in all the courses that are offered, our professors collectively in all 4 schools are talking about AI in accounting, in finance, in marketing, and all of our experiential learning opportunities will also give you a lot of exposure into how AI can help you in the workplace.
Awesome. Well, companies I know like Duolingo are excited to hire your graduates from these top MBA programs. I thank you each for joining us today. Thank you to those who are listening. Hopefully you gained some new tips and strategies for applying to top business schools and MBA programs in the great state of Texas. So thank you all so much, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure, down the road on these journeys. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, everyone. See you all soon.
Thanks, everyone.